When rivers dry up, when plants can no longer survive on hot, lifeless plains, when ecological disaster feels inevitable, they arrive to save the world. They being wolves, rabbits, and beavers. Now you're about to hear stories about how animals saved ecosystems across the planet. And, well, let's start with rabbits. And here's a little disclaimer. There are no reliable sources on the internet confirming that this first story is true. Nevertheless, it seems quite truthful. Believe it or not, it's up to you. Welcome to the Daled Banner Desert in China. Yup, it says desert, so why does it look like a green oasis? Just a few decades ago, this place was a vast, lifeless expanse of sand. Plants couldn't survive here, trees couldn't grow, animals couldn't live. A massive piece of land produced nothing and supported no life. It was sad that such a huge territory brought no benefit at all. So specialists there began searching for ways to bring life to this place. They considered planting trees, artificial irrigation, large-scale greening projects, and other traditional solutions. But all of these ideas seemed inefficient, expensive, or unlikely to succeed. Then, in 1988, one Chinese scientist proposed a radical solution. He suggested releasing rabbits into the desert. The idea was met with curiosity and interest. Soon after, a colony of Rex rabbits, a French breed, was brought to Daled Banner. These cute little animals adapted surprisingly well to the dry and hot environment and began to settle in. Under these harsh conditions, each rabbit started digging into the ground in search of roots and dry grass. On a massive scale, this digging aerated the soil. Aeration means enriching the soil with oxygen, which is essential for plant growth. And when the rabbits went to the toilet, well, let's put it politely, they enriched the soil with nutrients and undigested seeds. All of this helped revive the desert and slowly turn it into a green valley. But how was this possible, considering that the number of rabbits was limited at first and the desert itself was enormous? The answer is simple. Rabbits reproduce extremely fast. Each rabbit can produce around 40 offspring per year. Over time, the population exceeded 1 million animals. On top of that, there were no dangerous predators in the area to threaten them. They multiplied, worked the soil, and continued doing exactly what nature designed them to do. Scientists were amazed. The results exceeded all expectations. Plant survival rates reached 96%. Farmers around the world learned about the impact rabbits had on the environment. Rabbit farming quickly became a profitable business. Everyone wanted these animals. Farmers began earning tens of thousands of dollars. The economic level of the region rose, and with it, the quality of life for locals. The desert land became fertile enough to grow potatoes. Farmers began producing more than 1,000 tons of potatoes per year. This was good not only for earning money, but also for creating new jobs. Simple rabbits revived the land, turned a desert green, and brought economic growth to the entire region. Now, here's the grain of salt you need to take with this story. There are no reliable sources we've been able to find so far that this 1988 rabbit mission is true. But the following two stories are actual confirmed cases. Our next helpful animal is the beaver. Now we move from China to the United States and to the state of Utah. Rising temperatures cause rivers in this region to dry up. The ecosystem found itself in a dangerous situation because rivers are a vital resource here. Animal life, agriculture, tourism, and access to drinking water all depend on them. Severe drought dried up rivers. Fish populations suffered, and animals that depended on those fish began to struggle. The risk of forest fires increased because of a lack of moisture. One problem followed another, and no one knew how to solve them. Then, in 2019, a group of researchers from Utah State University proposed an unusual solution. They decided to relocate beavers to the Price River. But how could animals that chew trees possibly fix such a serious problem? Well, beavers build dams. Along rivers, these dams create small ponds and wetlands. During droughts, water stored in one place lasts longer. while water stretched along long riverbeds quickly evaporates under the burning sun. Fish and other animals use these ponds as shelters, surviving difficult periods there. After that, when the rainy season returns, rivers recover. Beaver dams help fish populations survive, reduce the risk of forest fires, and improve access to nutrients. Forest animals that feed on fish don't starve, and the whole ecosystem endures droughts more successfully. Now, there's one downside to this method. Not all beavers adapt to a new environment. In the case of the Price River, some of the relocated animals didn't survive. Some faced predators. Some couldn't stand the new weather conditions, but the majority did their job well. Today, the water level in the river is higher. Fish are abundant. Residents are happy that the region attracts tourists. People come to relax on beaches, swim, kayak, and go fishing. All of this prosperity exists thanks to beavers. Now, let's move to the famous Yellowstone National Park, one of the largest nature reserves in the world. In the last century, a single species nearly destroyed its entire ecosystem. When we hear stories like this, we usually imagine swarms of locusts eating every plant in sight or mosquitoes spreading diseases. But to disrupt nature's balance, it doesn't always take a small, fast-breeding creature. Sometimes the cause can be a large animal, like the elk. You see, at one point the elk population in Yellowstone grew rapidly. They began feeding on huge amounts of willows, aspens, poplars, and other trees. Their appetite seemed endless, and as their numbers kept increasing, they were slowly stripping the forest bare. By eating leaves, damaging trunks, and breaking branches, the elk destroyed the natural shelters that birds depended on. Without these trees, many bird species could no longer survive the winter. As bird populations declined, predators that relied on them for food began to struggle as well. Birds also play an important role in controlling insects, so bugs probably started to multiply rapidly. But this still wasn't the most serious problem. The elk changed the region's water temperature. As trees disappeared, beavers lose food for winter, which is willows. So the beaver didn't build enough dams. These dams, along with trees, provided shade that cooled the water. Without them, Yellowstone's rivers began to warm. Cold-blooded fish suffered as water temperatures rose, and without these fish, many animals began to starve. A long and complex ecological chain had been broken because of elks. Something had to be done. But what? Destroying the animals wasn't a real solution. It would only offer temporary relief, and besides, the elk weren't to blame for following their instincts. So scientists turned to a very different answer: wolves. Yep, that's right. In early 1995, people brought 8 wolves to Yellowstone. By 1996, their number had grown to 31. In 2002, 30 wolf pairs were distributed across different parts of the park, and within just 10 years, Yellowstone began to change. The presence of wolves forced elks to move constantly and stay alert. Their population decreased, and their behavior changed. They could no longer linger in one place long enough to destroy entire groves of trees. Vegetation slowly recovered. Willows and aspens grew stronger. Birds returned and rebuilt their nests. Beavers once again had enough wood to build dams. Rivers cooled under their shades. Step by step, the ecosystem healed. Wolves had saved the forest. But wait a minute. Why weren't there wolves already in Yellowstone? Well, the answer is humans. In the 19th century, when Yellowstone was declared a national park, wolves often attacked livestock, and they had a reason. Settlers built ranches nearby and brought large numbers of non-native sheep and cattle into the region. At the same time, they hunted the park's natural herbivores, leaving wolves with little food. Desperate to survive, wolves began attacking ranch animals. At the time, people saw wolves as pests. The solution seemed obvious. For decades, hunters wiped out entire wolf packs. By the mid-1920s, more than 130 wolves were gone, and in 1926, the last pack was eliminated. By the 1970s, there were no signs of wolves left in Yellowstone. And after that, the elk problem appeared. That's why it's so important to treat animals with respect. They aren't just creatures that eat, sleep, and hunt alongside us. It turns out that they are essential parts of the natural web of life. And when even one piece of this system is removed, the entire thing can begin to collapse. Something to think about. That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.